Welcome back to the Mystery Parlor. It's Anna
and Rose.
We are giving you an advance notice that there are 2 dogs and a cat here with us today in the Mystery Parlor. Hopefully, they will be taking a nap during our recording. But if not, you may get a meow or bark or growl from one of our fur babies, Rambo, Enzo, or Louie. Today, we are going to share another state-by-state adventure with you. This time, it's a trip to Arizona.
Before we get to a few unnerving mysteries, Anna is going to share an excerpt from a book she just read. The book is called Good Energy, and it is by Casey Means, MD, and her brother, Callie Means.
A set of experiences with my mother, beginning in early 2020, changed my perspective of worry, particularly about death forever. Concerned about her rising glucose and cholesterol levels, I took her to Sedona for Dr. Casey's boot camp of proven actions to improve metabolic health. Extended fasting, cold plunging, exercise, morning sunrise hikes. It was a year before we discover her pancreatic cancer. Having not eaten for 3 days and are on a ketone high, I felt euphoric as my mom and I looked at the towering Red Rock Mountains together. My mom had hiked to the top of a ridge in the dark for a full moon drum circle that we'd heard of from a local art gallery, and she and I danced together in the moonlight with abandon.
Scaredy Cat Anna could end our Arizona episode right here. A hike, a full moon dance, a drum circle. What more could one ask for? Well, except we'd skip the 3-day fast and ketone high for a late night wine buzz.
You are right, because after researching this next topic, I'm almost too scared to even do the late night hike up the Red Rock to the top of the ridge for a full moon dance in the drum circle. But I'm going to be brave because I really want to plan a trip and go there and do the full moon dance and the drum circle and the hike at night and stay at a boutique hotel. Go to the spa you and your mom went to last time you were in Arizona.
Yeah, I dragged her along with me for a geology conference, and we turned it into a quick and fun girls' trip. We highly recommend the Heard Museum in Phoenix, which is a Native American art and history museum.
And Rose and I will, of course, visit all the places we're about to talk about. Now let's dive into Skinwalkers.
Skinwalkers, sometimes referred to as shapeshifters, are a big part of Arizona's history, along with several other surrounding states. Some call it urban legend, but it originated in Native American culture. They seem to be pretty quiet about the whole thing, though, maybe so they do not themselves draw attention from an evil witch.
After investigating Skinwalkers, we are 99.9% believers. We want to know what you think. We will throw up a poll on Instagram and Spotify following this episode. Skinwalkers are known or heard of more today because of the Skinwalker Ranch, 1 state north in Utah. There is a multi-season show about it on the History Channel and on Netflix. Full disclosure, we haven't watched it yet. It might be great, it might suck.
The Skinwalker story came from the Native Americans in the Southwest. In the Navajo language, it is translated as, by means of it, it goes on all fours. Maybe because when humans are wearing the skin of 4-legged animals, they move awkwardly on all fours. There have also been many sightings where 4-legged animals are walking on their hind legs only, also very unnaturally.
What is really disturbing is who and how someone becomes a shape-shifting skinwalker. Who are they? Well, they're usually male. And they do it voluntarily. They are against the medicine people of the Native American culture, and they are seeking powers for evil. So basically, the black magic type.
The how is even worse. They enter the witchery way by murder, preferably a family member, a close family member. A sibling is considered the highest or best choice. They also engage in incest, grave robbing, and necrophilia.
We wanted to know why. Why would anyone do such a thing?
so they can hide in plain sight by possessing a living animal or person.
They seem to prefer coyotes, wolves, and there are a number of strange stories about horses that appear seemingly out of nowhere in the desert night.
Skinwalkers are able to call up spirits and can read minds so they know when you are coming. They love to invoke fear and inflict pain. Oh, and they kill.
If you're wondering how you know if someone is a shapeshifter in their human form or if an animal is a skinwalker, I was wondering too. The eyes are the tell. When human, the eyes will have an animal likeness. As an animal, the eyes will glow, usually red. That would be in addition to it coming at you in an unnatural gait, trying to either tease or kill you. I'm thinking it would look like a rabid animal possessed by the devil.
We also wanted to know how to avoid them. They thrive on fear. The advice we found was not to whistle at night because if something whistles back, it's a skinwalking shapeshifter and your fear will draw them straight to you.
We think it's important to warn you that they also are known to manifest antlers or horns. The body of an animal could appear much larger or smaller than usual, or could be disfigured. Imagine a bunny as large as a man with horns and glowing red eyes on the road in the middle of the night in the desert when you're all alone. If you do encounter one, it may run alongside your car, matching the speed and toying with you. Most of the time, it will finally just get bored and retreat to the landscape. But if something more sinister happens, you won't live to tell about it. Hard nope for us.
One road to travel if you want to be murdered by a skinwalker is Devil's Highway, formerly known as US 666, named as the 6th shoot-off Route 66. It runs through the Navajo Nation east of the Hopi Reservation. In 2003, when they had had enough of the signage getting stolen, it was renamed US 191. If you avoid the skinwalker, you may live to see the vanishing girl in a white dress that roams the highway. Or you may encounter one of the many UFOs or UAPs that cause many to lose time, sometimes hours or even days, so plan your schedule wisely.
The Skinwalker of the Southwest is not alone. There are versions of this story in Native American history in many regions. The Wendigo is found in colder climates, preferring woodlands and lakes. These possessed creatures crave human flesh and make sounds to mock or mimic like a parrot. There is lore and legend around the world of creatures similar to the skinwalkers. The main consensus is they are all consumed with evil and invoke fear.
Our first official stop, which is not off of Devil's Highway, is in Scottsdale. Let's take a little trip to the library. 2 libraries, actually.
We picked libraries because we've gone to paranormal events at libraries, both Rose and I, at different times. Rose went to a paranormal and ghost hunting talk last year at a library with her friends during spooky season. They were all so cute, decked out in skeleton jewelry, skull sweaters, and spiderweb socks.
We had a lot of fun at that talk, and the crowd started sharing stories afterwards. One guy was going on and on about ectoplasm, which none of us knew what that was at the time. Anyways, it was freaky.
Then once I took my family on a ghost talk and tour about 18 years ago at the Willard Library in Evansville, Indiana, when we were visiting the area. I can't remember the details, but it was super spooky. Like, we ducked out early on the tour. I just looked up pictures online of the Willard Library while writing this and got goosebumps looking at the wooden staircase. Look it up and tell us what you think.
We are always down for a good library haunt. The 2 in Scottsdale to visit are the main branch, known as the Civic Center branch, and the Arabian Library branch. Both the employees and visitors to these locations were experiencing paranormal activity like books flying off the shelves and voices coming from empty areas, sometimes even after they were closed.
A team of paranormal investigators were called in, and here's what they found.
At the Civic Center branch, there were voices heard and recorded. one voice repeated the word no several times. There were also lots of electric disturbances on their monitoring devices.
At the Arabian Library branch, a living human read a book in the children's area, and a voice was heard and recorded saying, "Read it again." They had set up a camera to capture any movement, hoping to catch a book flying or falling off a shelf, but when they returned, the camera was knocked over.
Spooky. Anna, do you want to go, or are you too scared?
I'd 100% go to a library. If it was open and other people were there and it was daylight, I'd also go to our next stop, the town of Jerome, located just south of Flagstaff and Sedona.
We would check out the Hotel Connor, and more specifically the Spirit Room. You will find a painted mural of the Lady in Red hanging above the bar. She mainly resides in room number 1 in the Hotel Connor above. If you are a man, she might whisper sweet nothings in your ear and visit you in your dreams. One man had her crawl into bed with him, and he spent the rest of the night in his car. Those who stay in room number 1 also hear unexplained noises and hear unnatural scratches on the walls.
I'm down for a drink in the Spirit Room, open 11 a.m. until late, whatever that means. But we will be staying elsewhere overnight. If you are brave enough to stay at the Hotel Connor, here are a few other paranormal hotspots. Room number 5 has frequent hot and cold zones that will give even the bravest ghost hunter goosebumps, and malfunctioning electronics, including alarm clocks that set themselves. On the second floor, there's a man's voice heard often. There have been spirits described as spirit vortexes photographed and felt in the staircase and hotel hall. And that lady in red, she sometimes leaves room number 1 to roam the artisan gift shops on the first floor. Watch out. Sometimes she flings things off the shelves.
And now for the hotel we will be staying at, the Clink Scale. That is, if I can't talk Anna into the haunted penthouse above the haunted hamburger in the building behind it.
You might be able to twist my arm. They both look really nice, but the view from the haunted penthouse might persuade me.
When the Clink Scale building was last purchased, it had sat empty for a while. Almost the entire town burned to the ground twice in the late 1800s, and this newest structure was with 18-inch fireproof walls, and it was built in 1899. It first served as a mercantile, then a bordello for miners, then a hardware store with apartments above it, and finally a hotel and restaurant. It was sold in 2020 and reopened in 2021 as a boutique hotel. When the new owners began renovating, the first strange occurrence was the workers' hammers began disappearing. Not just one, but many. During a conversation with the previous owner, they were asked something along the lines of, "Have you met the resident ghost that likes hammers?"
Creepy. There are several resident ghosts at the Clink Scale, from a residual madam, a grumpy man, and an elderly man. Don't confuse the two. There are fun-loving spirits and someone in the kitchen who occasionally throws things. Lots of throwing with the entities in Arizona. And then there is my favorite, a kitty, a little ghost kitty who might leave paw prints on your bed, rub against your leg for pets, or let out a meow or two.
As a fossil, rock, and natural resource buff, we will be exploring the Petrified Forest National Park. It is located in Navajo and Apache counties, in other words, Skinwalker territory. The landscape has painted bands in the eroding rock formations and is scattered with petrified trees that lived 225 million years ago.
There are also flash floods, extreme temperatures, rattlesnakes, scorpions, loose rocks, and cliffs. Plus, there is an account of a tourist sending pieces of petrified wood they had stolen from the park back to the park, along with a letter stating the pieces of petrified wood were haunted with bad luck and needed to be returned.
Do we know if returning the rocks fixed the problem?
We hope so, but no, probably not.
Well, that wraps up our trip to Arizona.
Yep, but we still want to know if any of you have seen a skinwalker. So if you have, please share your experience with us for our next Listener Stories episode. You can get in touch with us using the link in the description.
And don't forget to take the poll. We're going to post it on Instagram and on Spotify.
Thanks for listening.
Bye
For now.